Imagine Apple finally releasing a foldable iPhone, but with no crease on the display. That's the part that caught me off guard, because while every foldable phone today has improved, none of them have truly solved the crease problem. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. According to the latest leak, Apple has now locked in a crease-free display design and moved the device into pre-production. In other words, the foldable iPhone isn't just an experiment anymore. It's entering the get-it-ready-for-mass production stage. And that matters for a bunch of reasons. First, a foldable iPhone is one of the last big steps Apple hasn't taken in the smartphone space. The company has held back for years, even as Samsung, Google, and other Android brands kept refining their foldable tech. If Apple is ready to pull the trigger now, it suggests two things. They think the tech is finally good enough, and they believe they can sell it in serious numbers. Not just a niche device, but a new category that millions of people might actually adopt. The big breakthrough here is the display. Apple apparently rejected hinge and panel designs for 2 straight years because none of them met the company's crease-free goal. That's a level of stubbornness only Apple would commit to, but it explains why this device is so late to the party. Now that the hinge and display system are finalized, suppliers are basically sitting at the starting line. Panel makers, hinge manufacturers, assembly partners, all waiting for Apple to say go. And there's another twist. Apple wants to equip the iPhone Fold with the same vapor chamber cooling system from the iPhone 17 Pro lineup. That's a big deal because foldable phones typically struggle with heat. Smaller internal space, tight folding components, and flexible displays add more thermal challenges. If Apple can keep performance stable even during gaming, multitasking, or heavy apps, that alone would make it stand out from current foldables, which often throttle under real pressure. There's also a production story behind the scenes. Apple is reportedly planning for 7 to 9 million units shipped in the first year. That's higher than the first-year targets of almost every Android foldable. And if Apple truly feels confident enough to forecast numbers like that, it shows they think demand won't be a problem. Partners like Samsung, TSMC, Foxconn, and Largan Precision are all lined up to benefit once mass production begins. Performance-wise, this device is expected to launch with Apple's first 2-nanometer chip, the A20 Pro, the same generation rumored for the iPhone 18 series. That means more efficiency, better thermals, and higher performance. Combine that with vapor chamber cooling, and you're looking at a foldable that might actually perform like a flagship instead of a compromised form factor. But beyond the specs, this is an important moment for Apple. This will be its most ambitious product since the Vision Pro. It's late to foldables, no question, but Apple has a pattern. Skip the first few generations of a tech trend, then enter with a polished product that resets expectations. If the company nails durability, hinge design, thermals, and display quality, the iPhone Fold could do for foldables what the original iPhone did for smartphones. And if it misses, well, being late only works if what you release is undeniably better. Anything less puts pressure on the brand in a way Apple doesn't often experience. And then comes the question everyone is quietly holding their breath for: pricing. Most estimates put it somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500 in the US, which would make it the most expensive iPhone ever. UBS analysts think it could land a bit lower, maybe around $1,800 to $2,000. Meanwhile, Fubon Research says around $2,399 is more realistic. A trusted Apple analyst, Ming-Chi Kuo, adds another interesting detail. The hinge cost, originally thought to be over $100, has been optimized down to about $70 to $80 thanks to Foxconn's production scale. Whether that savings will reduce the retail price or just pad Apple's margin is the part we don't know. So now the big unknowns hover over the product. How durable will it be? How will Apple position it next to the regular iPhone 18 lineup? Will the lack of a crease and better cooling be enough to justify the price? And can Apple actually reshape the foldable market the same way it redefined smartphones? If Apple pulls this off, a sturdy hinge, a crease-free display, strong performance, and enough confidence to ship millions in year one, this could be the device that finally makes foldables mainstream. If not, it risks becoming an expensive experiment, and that tension alone makes this upcoming launch one of the most interesting moments Apple has faced in years. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.